सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Okay, so we saw the end of that section when where Nachiketa sticks to his guns and he knows exactly what he wants. Okay, he is very clear about that. This is what he wants. He is not willing to compromise on that, in spite of all the temptations and things like that. Which I am telling you, half the guys who come to study Vedanta would have taken and run. But he does not. Okay. And this thing. Then we have now, any questions up to here? I think it was pretty simple. Still the story. The teaching is not yet started. Okay. Yeah. So it's pretty clear. Okay. Now if you look at the question, Nachiketa's question is very simple, probably because he is still a youngster. What he has asked is, Asti iti nasti iti. Is there life after death or not? I mean, that is not a question that Yama need to have taken very seriously. He could have said, hey, you are here, na? What does that show you? You could have said as simple as that, you are here, so you know there is life after death. Itna bada baat kya hai? But he doesn't do that. He now talks a bit. It is still not the main teaching. Okay? It is still not the main teaching, but he puts a certain perspective to the whole pursuit, so that Nachiketa can clarify his question, can come up with a far better question. Okay. Now that is exactly what is being done in the next section that we are going to start. Part 1, Canto 2. Okay. Anyat shreyaha anyattu taiva preyaha te ubhe nanarthe puraksha sinitaha tayo shreyaha adadanasya sadhu bhavati hiyate arthamadyegu preyo vrinite. Now shreyas and preyas is difficult to translate into English. Okay. Prayers is what? It's easier. Okay. Prayers, that which is very pleasant and enjoyable by people. Maja aata hai. Shreya stands for moksha, fundamentally, and by implication, growth. Therefore, whatever leads to your growth is called Shreyas. Whatever challenges you to growth is called Shreyas. And whatever keeps you in a happy rut is called Prayas. It's like one of my students came and told me, Swamiji, I am in a rut. It's a very comfortable, happy rut, but it's a rut. I said, why do you call it that? Swamiji, I do some puja regularly. I do some good karmas. I do some little bit social work here and there. I party a little bit. I'm living a good life. Can you recognize, like her, that this is a rut that you can be in? रोज मैं पूजा करता हूँ ना, I am a good man, and I am doing good also. How much have you grown over the last 10 years? Has anything challenged you to grow? और you're chugging along nicely. चलती का नाम गाड़ी है, चलता है ना एकदम अच्छा होके. Prayers. Whereas someone else maybe seem to be stagnating. Oh my God, I have to take care of my parents, I have to take care of this, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to look after my child, I have to do this. There's a big struggle, my life is not smooth at all. Oh God, give me a break. But in doing all that, the person is growing. The person has not run away from the whole thing. The person is growing. What is that? Shreyas. Or a person is leading a very comfortable life. No hassles. But consistently into Vedanta. No compromise on that. Shreyas. So either you are growing, that is also included into Shreyas. Because without growing, what are you going to come to Vedanta? You will come to Vedanta and be in the same rut. You will get into a Vedantic rut. Once a week I go for classes also. So what was done in the last class? That was 2 weeks back, I don't remember. 2 हफ्ता हो गया अभी याद कैसे आता है. So you get into a nice rut there also. So wherever you are stuck into something nice, which looks nice, pleasant, etc. Okay, yeah, happy doing it. अरे खाओ पियो मजा करो, क्या है इतना मगजमारी क्या करना है, सब ठीक चल रहा है ना, भगवान की कृपा है, सब ठीक चल रहा है. You are devoted also. You do some puja part also. So the whole thing has become a rut for you. You are happy, relatively. Prayers. You know, people make black and white comparison. Prayers is only khao piyo maja karo, Shreyas is moksha marga. They don't forget what in between you are getting stuck in. They forget that. In between you are getting stuck. Wherever you are stuck, that is prayers. Wherever you are conditioned, it's prayers. Why? Comfortable, no? What is air conditioning? A way of thinking and behaving that makes you comfortable. Thinking, feeling, behaving that makes you comfortable doesn't challenge your growth. And if the teacher challenges, you will say, no, that is because he is a Kattar Vedantin. We are normal people, no, we are Sansaris, no. You will make an excuse for yourself. Prayers. Whereas I always, when I talk of Shreyas and prayers, always remember someone like Sahaya Sahib. Last year of his life, he used to feel giddy. Therefore, couldn't come for my classes. So he said, Swamiji, ऐसा थोड़ा चक्कर आ रहा है, when I walk, I'm feeling giddy. So my family and all is very this thing. They don't allow me to go out. What can I do at this stage? Even at that stage, he was interested in moksha. Whereas most people say, बहुत पढ़ा है यार, अभी क्या करने का, रहने दो. So I said, just sit down at home, go over what you already know, meditate. He used to spend hours in meditation. So he died saying, Aham Brahmasmi. Comfortably. Anayasena maranam. Vina dainyena jivanam. Two version, dainyena or arishtena jivanam. Dainyam is dina bhavam. You are dependent on people. So, this is what he says. Anyat shreyaha tu tat prayaha. Two different things. One is shreyas, one is prayas. Serving different purposes. Purusha sinitaha. They come in your life. You have to commit to one or the other. You will commit to one or the other. Either consciously or unconsciously. Prayas can be unconscious commitment. Shreyas will have to be a conscious commitment. Tayo shreyaha adadanasya sadhuhu. Shreyaha is One who takes up the Shreya is sadhuhu bhavati. It's a good person. Bhavati hiyate arthadya upreya vranite. Whereas those who take prayers will fall away from moksha. Will not gain moksha. How will you get moksha? You know, all the smug, self-satisfied people you meet in your life, they're all praya margis. They may be very religious. I'm not saying no to that. Lot of punya they would have gained. They'll go to heaven, etc. Nicely. Whereas someone who was on Shreya Marga may never go to heaven. Supposing he doesn't get it in this life. He will not go to heaven, etc. He will not in enough punya. Yeah. Probably in a few years he will be born again. Others will enjoy 30 years in heaven, 40 years in heaven, 100 years in heaven. This guy will be born again. Why? I have to pick up the thread again fast. क्या करने का है उधर बैठ के? तवेव वाहा तव नृत्य गीते. If Nachiketa had chosen all the gifts that was given to him, that would be Praya Marga. Yeah, Punjabication. Unmute, you'll have to unmute.
See, here, in this he says, obey, that is both prayers and prayers. Purusha says, Sinita. Sinita is stitching, no? So why prayers Shreyas is also stitching any specific.
See, it is not Sinita, in a way it is binding. One is binding unconsciously because you don't know where you are, what you are doing. Whereas the other also looks like a binding but it's a conscious commitment. Therefore, not really speaking a binding, it looks like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's more like you feel
Yeah.
you are bound to this.
Exactly.
You cannot think of anything
Yeah.
else.
See, let us say, here is a person. Parents are not well, you are struggling to look after them. It's a big struggle. You have to look after your child. You have to keep the house running. Okay? You are not looking for an escape. You have taken it as a commitment and doing it for growing. So it looks like a bondage, no? But if the person is doing it with Ishwararpanam and Prasada Buddhi, there is a growth there. Person grows more than they realize it themselves. How do you know? Because I have seen so many of my students doing that. So many of my students are doing that. Therefore, there is growth. Giving up some opportunities that have come for other career growth, etc. Even that they had given up. There's a sense of sacrifice. They grow. Ishvara Arpanam Prasada Buddhi, they grow. Yeah. So that is the thing. That growth, if you are growing, you are on Shreya Marga. If you are stuck in your comfort zone, you are on Praya Marga. And most of us, believe me, like that lady came and told me, okay, Swamiji, I am stuck in a rut. It's a happy rut, but I am stuck in a rut. She had the self-awareness to realize that. Which is true. So prayers is that happy rut you are stuck in. Okay. I am deviating the meaning slightly, keeping the students in mind. Okay. Whenever you are stuck in a happy rut, understand prayer. Yeah, I mean it's fun. Does that mean if you are in prayers, you should not have fun in life? That's not true. If you can't have fun, there is something wrong with your brain. Your pleasure center in your brain is compromised. Yeah, there may be times of struggle in your growth where fun is the farthest from your mind. Yeah. That's why I tell all people who are caregivers to older people, etc., take a break. You all need a break. That breaks keeps you recharged, otherwise you go mad. Even though your commitment to Shreyas is high, you need that break. Take a couple of days off. Share the responsibility with someone.
Bondage.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay.
I know because I did that with my parents. No? I walked the talk, so I know exactly what it is. Not that I needed a break. Luckily, it came at a stage in life where I didn't need a break. But I used to give my mother a break. When my sister and brother-in-law would come over, I'll say, take mom out for a drive. Take her out for a meal. Take her to the temple. Take her wherever she wants. I'll stay here.
Yeah.
What about your break? My classes, etc. are my break now. What's the problem? I don't need any other break. Class is not work for me. Like the yoga festival. Whole day I used to be there. 9 o'clock in the morning I used to be there at the festival, whole day. Never go back to my hotel room, which is 5 minutes walking distance. Not a problem. He says, Swamiji, you have been at it, even the organizers, even we went and took a break and came, you are older than us. I said, I am on a holiday. I have one lecture a day. After that, I am dealing one-on-one with people. A lot of people want to come and talk to me. So I am sitting in the tent here, comfortably, sipping a cup of tea or coffee and chatting with people. That's a holiday for me. But you're handling serious problems. Yeah, so big deal. Part of the game. You don't need a break. Okay? Because when you are teaching Vedanta, you are dipping into the consciousness. Yes. The whole Shastra is in what you are dipping into Ananda. So there you don't need a break. From talking, you may need a break. Chalo, bas ho gaya, bahut baat kiya. Voice has gone hoarse. That is a different thing. But other than that, no issues. So with that in mind, okay, Shreyas and Prayas. Yeah. Okay. And he says another thing. He says the meaning of dharma. If dharma, yeah, Vijayalakshmi, tell me.
Can you give a little bit of more difference between Shreya and Preya?
I will. That's exactly what I've been doing. If you are looking at dharma for growth, because dharma has a lot of meanings. If you are looking at dharma as universal principles for your growth, etc., it will become Shreyas. But if you are looking at dharma, I will take care of my life hereafter. I don't want to go to a negative experience. I want pleasure. After death, I want to go to heaven, etc. Why? Indra Varuna, etc. will be there. I will be free from hunger and thirst and at the same time enjoy good food, etc. That becomes prayer. That becomes prayers. Even though you are doing the religious work necessary to go to heaven, you are doing Vedic karma. But that Vedic karma is also leading you to prayers only, no? Not Shreyas. Like most of our prayers are. Most of the time, how do we pray? Tata ne aapyo, Birla ne aapyo, mane nati aapyo. Classical Bombay prayer. You gave Tata, you gave Birla. Now you'll have to be, you gave Adani, you gave Ambani. You didn't give me anything. Oh Lord, please give me this, give me that, give me this, give me that. So that type of prayer is not something wrong. Don't take it as something wrong. Then you will only add guilt to your prayer pursuit. But it is prayers only, you know. What else are you saying? I mean, you are coming to the Lord. It is like, you know, I'm talking about Birla and this old man Birla went to Banaras town. Okay. Now, 3 hours from Banaras is a place called Renikut, where the Hindalco headquarters is there. Huge campus they have. They have a captive power plant 25 kilometers away at Renu Sagar. At Renikut is a whole setup, whole complex for manufacturing of aluminum, this, that. Beautiful thing. They set it up very well. They run it very well. For 5 years, I used to go there regularly every 3 months for training their officers. 5 years, not a small time. So Birla came there and he called a meeting with all the local business people in Banaras. And he asked them, see, I am 3 hours away, but I have gained from this place. What way can I give back? What do you all want me to do for the city? Remember, Birla is worth crores. Hindalco alone was making 1,000 crores profit every year. Those days, I am talking about more than 20 years ago, 25 years ago. That was huge money at that time. 25 years ago, 1,000 crores profit was huge. What do you want me to do? Do you know, he got disappointed with their request. Said, see, this is Banaras is a city where everyone come to die. We have a lot of ghats here, but we don't have an electrical crematorium. Can you put an electrical crematorium for us? And I heard it, I said, bloody idiot. He would have invested 1,000 crores if necessary in the city. And what are you asking? Electric crematorium worth a couple of crores. Should know how to ask. Whom you are going to? You are going to a king and asking him for a pumpkin. You are going to the Lord. The Lord, give me. Let me come to you. Let me come to heaven after death. Narayan. My daughter is saying she doesn't want to get married. Please change your mind and get her married. I want a grandchild. You are a child, na? Now whether your daughter should have a child or leave it to her, na? Why are you troubling the Lord for that? You can ask the Lord for anything you want, and what are you asking? And there is another type of prayer which looks very great. Give me bhakti for you, that's all. Bhakti है ना, इसके लिए आया ना प्रे करने को. What are you saying? Give me bhakti. Bhakti you are supposed to cultivate. Or give me moksha. I'll send you a teacher. Go learn. No. Give me moksha. Hey, Narayana. Gadda kahi ka. Really? I respect the bhakti, but I don't respect the intelligence behind it. There are people who will convert Shreya Marga also into Praya Marga. These are the people who convert the Shreya Marga into Praya Marga. Yeah. See, black and white is easy to talk about. This is prayers. Khao, piyo, maja karo. That's all. If that's the only life, Charvaka life, that is prayers. Moksha life is Shreyas. That is simple. A child can tell you that. Spiritual children can tell you. This is a Upanishad class. You have to look at it differently, with a greater sense of maturity. Are you growing? And I just want to do my duty. You are doing your duty. Are you growing in it? I will do my puja part, etc. Is that puja, etc., making you fearless? Making you confident? God is with you. I am not scared of anything because God is with me. Is it making you like that? Or first sign of trouble, you are going and running and saying, oh God, why are you giving me all this? What are you doing? Swami Chinmayanji used to say, don't be a beggar at the Lord's temple gate. He used to say that. Don't be a beggar for love at the Lord's temple gate. I don't know how many Chinmaya mission people here remember that. I do. The Shastra I didn't study from Swami Chinmayanji, but what I studied I remember well. Yeah. Because prayer, bhakti, etc. is meant to be Shreyas. But what are you converting that Shreyas activity into? Back into prayers only, na? Atak ja raha hai idhar hi. And then top of it, oh Lord, today I didn't do my puja, God will be angry. Oh my God. You are stuck at the primitive level of understanding God. I didn't do my puja today, God will be angry. और कुछ काम धंधा नहीं है क्या भगवान को? Are you all getting what I am trying to say? Vijay Lakshmi, is it clearer?
Yes, Swamiji, very clear. Thank you.
Okay, good. That clarity has to come. What is prayers? What is Shreyas? That is why Swami Vivekananda said something. There is a lot of spirituality in a game of football. Why? Your will, your determination, your overcoming the limitation of the body, all that is there in a game of football. The religious person may look at that and say prayers. But really speaking, are you growing in that? Are you becoming stronger in your will, in your determination, in your this? Yep. Then that is Shreyas. Even though just a game. A game is more than a game. Whatever helps you grow. Shreyas. Because from growth to moksha, psychological, spiritual growth is important. Psychological growth is based on this. Your ability to let go, your ability not to be conditioned, your ability to think with clarity, your ability to have this will to do things. All that is growth, psychological growth. Then the spiritual thing can come in. Learning how to let go, learning to manage your emotions. All that thing can come in. Commitment to study. So that is why Yama spends time on this. Because someone is following the Praya Marga, but because Vedanta is available in society, they are coming for a Vedanta class. How much growth will really happen? How much understanding will really happen? Their life and their commitment is prayers. But you are attending a Vedanta class also. Shubhecha is there. It is good. I am not saying don't attend a Vedanta class. Even if you are following Praya Marga, attend. Thoda kuch andar jayega. But how much of growth will happen? How much of growth will happen? Yeah. Because you are still stuck. Otherwise, you will wonder why in an Upanishad all the Shreyas, prayers thing is talked about. If it is black and white, a child will say it's okay, black and white, what? With the grey area, that's why it is mentioned in the Upanishad. Black and white is easy. Charvaka lifestyle, khao, piyo, maja karo. Prayers, moksha marga, religious, etc. Shreyas. It is not that simple. It is not that simple. Yeah. Okay. Shreyascha preyascha manushyametau tau samprito vinirukti dhira Shreyo hi dhiraha abhipreyo vranite preyaha mandak yoga kshemad vranite. Shreyascha preyascha manushyametah etaha. These two things, Shreyas and prayas. Tau samparitya vinivikta dhira. Get it? Shreyas and prayers will confront you at every stage in your life. Every day in your life, actually. Yeah, 6 o'clock in the evening. No rain, right? Let's go for a walk. छोड़ो यार जरा टीवी देखेगा. इतना दिन वॉकिंग नहीं किया, एक और दिन नहीं किया तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है? Can you see that? Even a small thing like that will come up. You know, when my children are there, I feel very healthy and nice and I am very active. When they are not there and I am alone by myself, I don't feel like doing anything. What is this? It's what you do when you are alone by yourself that makes it Shreya. I'm talking about retired people, okay? This happens with many retired people. I have seen it, not something new. Seen it all the time. होता है. In fact, the other day someone pointed out to me, Swami ji, आपका hearing थोड़ा कम है. He was repairing my hearing aid. आप अकेला रहते हैं ना, you stay alone. How do you watch the TV? I said, I only look at the, what do you call, the transcriptions. I don't even hear it. I keep it on silent. That is why. So at least sometime listen to the news or something. I said, okay, ठीक है. Of course, there is no Shreya's prayers involved here except my hearing. Nothing else is involved. But this happens to what I am trying to say is that Shreya's prayers question can come up to a person who is staying on your own. Because you are not staying with anyone. You can be a slob. No, that is prayers. Therefore, tau sampriti vinivikta dhiraha. So the dhiraha, the thinking person, has to differentiate between the two, he says. You have to understand where it's this thing. We may have our own blind areas, but you have to, that's where you look into and see what is what in the whole thing. Yeah. Just because you like it doesn't make it prayers. Just because you don't like it doesn't make it shreyas. Okay. Yeah. Remember the thing, whatever is growth and moksha is shreyas. Therefore, shreyo hi dhira abhiprayaha vinayate, overprayaha. Shreyaha dhiraha vrinite. The dhira thinking man will always choose shreyaha. Prayaha mando, mandaha, the dull. Prayaha vrinite. We'll go for the prayer. Why? Yoga kshemat vrinite. For yoga and kshema. Why? Apraptasya prapanam yoga. I don't have this. I want a house, I wanted this, I want this, I want that, whatever. Yoga. Once I got it, kshemaha, protect it. So whole life goes in getting something and protecting it, getting something and protecting it. Or kuch, not thinking of anything higher in life. Yeah. I mean, what is your whole life going in? Like there is a very dynamic lady, very young girl, very dynamic, very this thing. They are all part of the Chinmaya mission at that time. Then she got married, this, that, etc. Very happy. Then she came and met Swami Dayananji. And Swami Dayananji usually is very kind in dealing with people. So she said, so what do you do now? Now that you are married and you have a couple of kids and all. So she said, I do this, I do that. So Swamiji turned around and said, so your whole life is going between breakfast, lunch and dinner. Whole life is only in breakfast, lunch and dinner. That lady was taken aback. That lady was really taken aback. Because that's all your whole life is. It may lead to your growth if you have the right attitude. It may not. If your whole life is committed only to breakfast, lunch and dinner, sorry, That's not Shreya. No, it's my duty. You can justify yourself any way you want. Understand what the Upanishad is saying. Breakfast, lunch and dinner, even a crow gets for its offspring. So what's a great way I'm doing it? Tell me. And 3 square meals are not good for a human being anyway. 3 square meals make 1 round stomach. Yeah. Yeah, true. It's not healthy. I don't know from where this idea of 3 square meals came. Indian never had that. Indian never had the 3 square meals business. Most of the time it was 2 meals, morning, evening. Yeah. Because in daytime you are too busy working. So maybe a small snack or something you'll have, something that you carry to the field or something like that. That's all. Something. Yeah. But 3 square meals? Yeah. We don't need it. And I found that at the yoga festival, breakfast in the hotel very heavy, full breakfast. But I used to take all the healthy options that's available there. Okay, fine. Then you don't need lunch, you're not hungry. Because you had such a good breakfast, you don't need lunch. At the most a salad or something like that, both ho gaya. Simple one, not a complicated salad. You can have a proper salad bowl, which is a meal weight. And evening I would take a Buddha bowl or a rice bowl or something like that, where you have some quinoa or rice and some beans and some vegetables all in one bowl. Excellent. Barabar sadhu. Very tasty. But barabar sadhu ka ye sa bhiksha hai. My belt has become a bit looser because of that. लेकिन बॉम्बे में आके और टाइट हो जाएगा. Jokes apart. So, you are taking care of your family, that is Shreyas, if you are growing in that. But if all your time is only yoga kshema, God, getting something, protecting it, getting something. In other words, artha kama and dharma in terms of hereafter. If that is all you are thinking about, you are in Praya Margaha, not Shreya Margaha. Understand that very carefully. Your life is meant to be much more. I am talking to the woman as well, here specifically. Your life is much more than keeping your family well fed. That I said, even a crow does it. A tiger does it. A wolf does it. You are much more than all of them. Much more than all of them. Yeah. You can be like a tigress if you want. That's okay. Yeah. So, choose that. And for the men also, I go work, get money, and come home. I've done my job. Prayers only, what else is it? You're a provider parent, nothing more than that. Like how many of our parents were. They didn't even know which standard we are studying in. How do you know that? Some uncle says, hey, which year is your son studying in? Beta, tell uncle which standard you are in. पता है पिताजी भूल गया है. So to compensate that for that, our generation became helicopter parents. You are running around the child all the time, not giving him any freedom. Ulta. That is also prayers only. You are obsessed with your kids. In our generation, kids grew up like weeds. In the next generation, you became helicopter parents. Over nurtured and cared for. They can't face the challenges of life on their own. Ragging should stop in colleges. Ragging. अरे थोड़ा ragging होने दे, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला. As long as it's kept within limits, nothing will go wrong. No. Child is abused. Child will be traumatized. Then what will you do when the boss shouts at him and calls him an idiot? Go and complain to HR or what? So keep those things in mind. All that, see, this is blowing up shreyas and prayers to affect your whole life. It's concerning your whole life, not just a class or something like that. Okay. Satvam priyan priya rupansha kaman abhidhyayan nachiketaha atyasrakshihi nayetam sringalam vittamayim anvayato aptaha yasyamajanti bhahuva manushyaha. Then now Yama is praising Nachiketa. Satvam, you on the other hand, Priyan, Priya Rupanscha Kaman, all these desirable things. And all these desirable things. Okay? All of them. Na abhidhyayan, after examining them, Nachiketaha atyasrakshi. You're gone beyond that, he says. Okay? Yeah. You've discarded it. Atyasrakshi. You've gone beyond that. Okay? Naitam shangalam vittamayim vaptaha. All these ornaments and wealth, etc. The path of wealth. Yasyamajanti bhahuva manushyaha. Many a person, says, many a person comes to grief by accepting all these things. Samji, in what way can wealth give you grief? It is not that wealth gives you grief. Okay, that's Arthavada in Bhajagovindam. Artham anartham bhavaya nityam. That's Arthavada, exaggeration. Wealth keeps you on the path of samsara. You have money, okay, you chose money. Yama is offering you wealth or you are offering you moksha. What do you want? You chose money. So what happened? The fundamental grief that you have as a human being, the unwept sorrow in every heart, the existential angst remains with you. You remain a samsari. It is not that wealth is giving you more samsara. That is not true. But you are continuing in samsara. No? There is no change in what you are. You are sukha dukhi without money. Then you got money. You are sukha dukhi with money. Second stage is better than first stage. But sukha dukhi you are, no? Sometimes sukhi, sometimes dukhi. Sukha dukhi. That doesn't change. That continues. You are comfortably unhappy. Previously you are uncomfortable and unhappy. Now you became comfortable and unhappy. Yes, we are back. Okay, yeah. The connection issues. Okay. All right. Therefore, that is it. Okay. So people remain in samsara because of choosing wealth and etc. over moksha. Yeah. You need money, of course you need money. Money is what money does. What do you want to do with that money? Money can help you lead a life of pleasure, definitely. Money can help you go towards moksha also. No? It definitely helped me. My parents didn't need me financially. I consider that a big blessing. We are not rich people, we are middle class. But my parents didn't need any financial help with me. Big blessing. Why? I could do what I want with my life. I only had to take care of myself. Big thing. Yeah, I really consider it as a blessing. Because I know in many families, they expected the children to step up when the parents were getting older, etc. Yeah, and retiring and everything. Yeah. So, money can help you both ways. It's what you do with it. What are you choosing? Shreyas or prayers? That's it. Okay. Now he shifts slightly here if you look at it. Okay. दूरमेते विपरीते विशूची अविद्याया या च विद्येति ज्ञाता विद्याम ईप्सिनां नचिकेतः सम्मन्ये न त्वं कामा बहुलो अलुपमन्तः दूरमेते विपरीते विशूची. These two things are very, very different, he says. Yeah, widely different. Viparite, contrary. What is that? Avidyaya yam cha vidyeti jnata. One who understands what is vidya and what is avidya. Prayers he puts as avidya. Even though religion etc. may be involved in it, Vedic karma etc. may be involved. Avidya. Shreyas is vidya, knowledge. The other is an ignorance. Leads to. Why? Not enough viveka there. In the Praya Marga there is not enough viveka. Whereas in Shreya Marga at least you started with viveka. Therefore it is a moksha marga, it is meant for your growth and moksha there. Okay. Vidya abhipsinam nachiketa sammanye. I take you as one who is committed to knowledge, as an aspirant, as someone who wants that knowledge. I can take you as a jignasu. Natvam kama bahula aluptamanaha. Why? All these things I spread for you. You know, the pleasures of many lifetimes unavailable for human beings. You didn't fall for it. You didn't fall for it. It is not that Nachiketa didn't know about pleasure. Remember, there was a time when people were getting married at 18 and things like that. Nachiketa was a teen, 13, 14, whatever. He would have known everything about this, there to know about pleasure. Okay, yeah. May not have been very experienced himself, but he knew what it is about. Yeah. He was not a person who, if he is given an apsara, will say, "Oh, you are like my mama." He knew. He knew. Yeah. That's why he said, "Taveho ahatava nritya gite." Always you should treat them with respect, etc., etc. That's another type of conditioning. Yeah. That is a conditioning that Rajiv Gandhi had put in all our textbooks. All Indians are my, brothers and sisters. That's why he married an Italian, because all Indians are brothers and sisters. Kaisa shadi kare? Idiotic. Some of these attitudes that are presented as healthy are really idiotic. Be pragmatic. A mumukshu is pragmatic. Is practical. That's why Nachiketa was given 3 boons, 2 boons who took care of all the practical things. No? Wealth, etc. is not a problem. I met you. You're not going to send me back empty handed. Smart guy. Smart guy. So he took care of, he is pragmatic, he took care of the practical things. He ensured he is going back. I want moksha, I didn't ask to die so soon. I want moksha, not death. It's only idiots who talk about it as mystical death and things like that. So he made it very clear, pragmatic, down to earth, grounded. These are all what a student of Vedanta should be, okay? Not airy fairy, hawa mein baat karna hai. Like one of the martial artists was asked, "Sir, you teach martial arts and talk about peace? How is that possible?" You know what he said? "I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in war." Yeah, I'd rather be a warrior in a garden. That's a great way to be, rather than a gardener in a war. I know. I found a little student at the yoga festival. The organizer's kid, grandkid. He comes and tells me, "Swami uncle." I said, "Yeah." "Will you teach me?" I said, "Beta, what do you want to learn?" "Everything." I was taken aback, I'm telling you. A 5-year-old kid coming and saying, "I want to learn everything." I said, "You want to learn martial arts?" That also, because there in that circle I had shown something some time back, so they all know. That also, but I want to learn everything. I said, "Oh my God, ye gadbad hai idhar." Is the Lord asking me to live another 10 years for the sake of this kid? Both ho gaya. That everything, maybe just a kid speaking, but didn't look like that. Yeah, didn't look like that. So grandparents are very happy. I said, wait, expose her to life. Expose this kid to life. Let the kid go through all the experiences. Yeah, go to the university, fall in love, all that होने दे, उसका बाद देखा जाएगा. Yeah. Anyway, that apart. Therefore, pragmatic, this thing. He knew what it was all about, but he was not tempted by it. Okay? Yeah, not tempted by it. Therefore, that's it. Yeah. Okay, one more verse we can see. It's a very nice verse. I love this verse. It came in Mundaka also. Avidyayam antare vartamanaha swayam dhiraha panditam manyamanaha dandrayamanaha pariyanti moodaha andheneva niyamana yathandaha. Great verse. Very often quoted. Very often quoted by the people who are like this only. Avidyam antare vartamanaha. They are living in the midst of avidya, ignorance. But swayam dhiraha panditam manyamana. Consider themselves scholarly. They know, I can chant the whole Veda. What are you talking about? I'm scholarly. I read this commentary, read that commentary. Okay. So Shankara says to these people, Shabdameva janati natu shabdartham. They know only the words, not the meaning of the words, not the implied meaning of the word. That is not known. Avidya mantare vartamana swayam panditam swayam dhiram panditam manyamana dandramyamana. They are on a chakkar. Pariyanti moodaha. Ignorant people going round and round. Going around. I did this thing, I did that thing, this I have studied from this scholar, that I will study from that scholar, this meditation I have done, that meditation I will also learn. Because unless I do all these meditation, moksha will not be there. See, I learned so much. I met one of these guys. So I asked him, did you do the Voga Bhoga meditation of the Maasai tribe? They have a very great indigenous tradition for moksha. No, Swamiji, what is that? Then I took pity on him. I was actually, if it was 10 years back, I would have made him go around the prayer tent saying Vuga, Bhuga, Vuga, Bhuga, Vuga. And the idiot would have done it also, I'm telling you. No sense. No sense. Yeah. I do this, I do that, I do. What are you after in life, Baba? If it is moksha, it cannot be gained by any amount of this type of stuff. Atmavare drashtavya, that's it. Prepare your mind. For preparing your mind, you don't need to do 100 different things. A few of them will be enough. Couple of them will be enough. Karma yoga, lifestyle, japa, dhyanam, both ho gaya. Chalo. Simple. Keep it simple. Follow the KISS formula. Keep it simple, stupid. Yeah. But that's why Dandramya Manaha Pariyanti Moodaha, they are on a great chakkar. Oh, chakkar, round and round they go. Andhen Niyamana Yatha Anda, like the blind leading the blind. Yeah. One blind person leading another blind person. Reminds me of some of the discussion groups I have attended. Character doesn't know. He considers himself the head. He doesn't know anything himself. But he has read a bit. So when somebody asks him a question, he'll twist the question so that he can answer it. But I've been heading this discussion group for 20 years. You can head it for another 20, nothing will happen. Not my words, Swami Chinmayaji's words. A study group say work like that, ask Swami Chinmayaji. Swamiji, I've been heading this study group for 30 years. 20 years I've been meditating, nothing is happening. Swami Chinmayaji looked at him and says, nothing will happen. And that is one of the things that, you have that blondie moments in life. They're clicking. Nothing is meant to happen. Yeah, I got it. What has to happen has already happened. Nothing is going to happen. You have to understand certain things. But that guy got upset. How can Swamiji do that? Drop your ego when you are with your teacher. If you really want to learn to keep it aside. I'm not saying you will not have the ego. Of course, you will learn to keep it aside and say, what is the learning? That's one thing I have always done. Whether it was Swami Chinmayaji, Swami Dayanji, Taranandagiri, Tirthaji, any of them that I studied with. These are the 4 main people I studied with. It is their job to confront and our job to learn. Simple as that. If you keep that in mind, Shreya Margaha will come. Yeah, you are not happy with certain things they told you. That's okay. You better not be happy. You better take it seriously. Yeah, that's why he told us like that. I've been dismissed out of hand sometimes. That's okay. I'll learn. If you have that attitude, Shreya Marga, you are not part of this Andhena Niyamana Ayatha Anda, the blind leading the blind. You will not be like that. Yeah. Okay. Well, Yama is not yet over, okay? Yamaraja is not yet over. Another 3-4 verses are there in the same way. But that we will see next class, okay? Good to get into it, aram se. Yeah. Good place to stop. Om Tat Sat.